Okay then guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different than my usual videos. This is more of like a lesson learned type of video where I'm going to talk about a mistake I made in my teens, which I do not want you to make if you're a teenager watching this, or even if you're in your 20s, then this rule still applies. I feel like you can still gain value from the video. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So when I was a teenager, I was spending majority of my time after school watching movies. And even though they're really enjoyable and I really loved watching them and I got some form of pleasure by watching these movies, I feel like there was a huge waste of time which I could have spent doing something else like playing sports or just being more active, going out more. And I think the reason why I didn't go out a lot was because, again, I was a teenager. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't really go out of my house without having the permission by both of my parents, and I didn't have a car to go anywhere. So the closest place I could have gone was at my local park, but I chose not to do that. I even remember that even when I was in seventh grade, I joined track the track sports team. And the next year, one of my buddies kept asking me to join the team again, but I was like, nah, I don't want to join. And I didn't tell him this, but the reason why I didn't join the team was because I wanted to stay at home and watch more movies. Which I know I look back and it sounds ridiculous, but it is what it is. It's a mistake that I made. I feel like nowadays teenagers suffer through a similar type of problem, but it's not in the form of watching movies. Rather, you guys love playing video games. So if you're someone that's watching this that has this sort of like, I'd say, a lazy hobby where you just sit on your ass and you just look at a screen, you're not really that active, you don't move around a lot, then I suggest that you figure out why do you have this problem, like why do you find pleasure in this activity. Like for example, I found the pleasure in watching movies because I loved storytelling. Now I didn't know this at the moment, but not sooner, later, like I want to say recently, in the past few years, I've realized that I really love the whole concept of a story and like creating a problem inside a story and then resolving that and like just the whole like interactions between characters and whatnot. I really enjoy that entire process, especially if it's a comedy. Then if it's a situational comedy, then I feel like it's really like it's really entertaining in my opinion, and I love that form of entertainment, which is the reason why I was spending so much time watching movies. So if you're someone that's addicted to video games, then you probably love problem solving. You probably love building things, or I don't know, you probably like violence, which is okay. I love violence too, but the problem is you can't just be playing video games to let out that violence. I think you can play some combat sports. If you love violence, if you love shooting, then I guess you could like, I don't know, throw some darts at a what do you call that dart thing? That dart, yeah, just darts, whatever. Just throw some darts and shoot some arrows, bows and arrows, stuff like that. You gotta wait until you're 18 to shoot guns. You can go to shooting range once you're 18 and shoot some guns over there. Yeah, by the way, I'm sorry if my like voice is off. I'm getting kind of like a really sore throat because I've been making videos back to back. So anyways, getting back to the topic here is that I wasted my teens watching a lot of movies, and I feel like if I could go back make instead of watching movies, I'd probably try to sit down and let my creativity out in writing my own stories. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that I'm thinking of myself becoming a director, or or if you're watching this doesn't mean that you have to become what your hobby is about, but you can, right? just take some baby steps and see how far you could get with that. And for example, if you love playing video games, then the perfect thing for you to do would be to try to code up your own video game, something that you like. Just be creative and come up with something yourself. I know that video games are really popping these days. If you come up with a really good one, you can sell it on Apple Store, or you can have this Apple Store program where you can publish your own apps. It's not that costly. I'm sure that if you're a teenager watching this, your parents can pay for that. But if you're in your 20s, then I'm sure you're going to be able to afford to pay for that. Like, I think it's either a monthly fee or a one-time fee that you got to pay in order to publish applications on the App Store. But yeah, the point of this video is if you have some sort of, I want to call it lazy addiction, where you just spend your time just sitting on your ass, then you can try to figure out why do you have that addiction, and what do you enjoy about that the most? Why do you enjoy that, or more importantly, why do you enjoy doing that lazy activity? What's the bottom line of you partaking in that activity? And then once you figure that out, use that same activity to instead use it to your benefit, where you apply your creative side or your problem solving skills to come up with something similar yourself. So instead of being a consumer, now you can flip your mentality to being a producer and try to come up with ideas that would probably be more enjoyable to other consumers, right? And the way to go about this isn't really that hard. The way to come up with ideas that other people will like is basically to just think about something that you yourself like. This is something that I've learned by watching like hundreds of interviews of film directors, is that the times when the movie succeeds the most is when a director makes a movie which they themselves enjoy the process of writing and directing. Instead of trying to please the audience, they please themselves, and they come up with a storyline which they enjoy writing themselves. And then at the end, what happens is that the people enjoy it just as much as they did. Because at the end of the day, I think that a lot of us just have the same type of thinking. We enjoy the same kind of things. It's just that when we put too much pressure on ourselves to please other people, they end up like getting a little bit repulsed by us. But when we are just like confident in our own abilities and we put out our own opinions and thoughts to the world, then the world is a lot more accepting to that. So yeah, that's the gist of this video. Hopefully you gained some sort of value from this video, and if you have, please consider hitting the like button. If you're new to the channel, then my name is Ahsan Verk, and I'm someone that's new to his entrepreneurship journey, and this channel is just a form of me coming on camera and letting you guys know my mistakes, so you don't have to make the same mistakes in your own entrepreneurship journey or your physical health or your fitness journey. And hopefully this video has helped you in some way, shape, or form. If it has, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. And inshallah, I'll see you in the next one.